try all these questions here, and you need to do them all, and you can bring up the answers one by one. You got to try each one. You can use this video to help explain it, but here we go. Let's try this. We're supposed to rewrite the sine of 4a, but only using 2a. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, so that we could make it a double angle by making it 2 times 2a, and then using the formula. And that's what we do. So it's 2 times the sine of 2a times the cos of 2a. Same thing here, the cos of 12a, it's 2 times 6a. But cos A, you've got 3 formulas to choose from. So I chose 2 cos squared minus 1. And instead of 12a, I put in 6a. There's 2 other answers that work. You can use the other 2 formulas. The cosine of 6a we're supposed to put in terms of 3a. Well, you could go cos squared 3a minus sine squared 3a, and you could have 2 other answers as well. The cos of 8a, in terms of cos of 4a, well, you're going to have to use the cos of a double angle, 2 times 4a, but you only have 2 cos squared times 4a minus 1. So if we're going to put it in terms of cos, it's going to have to be this one. The other 2 answers would go with this one. I put that right there. I think that's the answer right there. The cos of 10a, it's really the cos of 2 times 5a, but there's only one that has just sine squared. It's 1 minus 2 sine squared 5a. There's a 2 missing there. I'm going to fix it up in the slide presentation. But you know it's 1 minus 2 sine squared. That's the formula. 2 sine squared minus 1 is 2 cos squared b over 2 minus 1. 2 cos squared minus 1, well, that's the double of this angle, but it's cos of the double angle. So it must be just the cos of 2 times b over 2. And here, it's the sine of the double of this angle. So it must be the sine of 2 times x over 2. And that's why the answer is sine x. That's it. So you take the double of x over 2, of half x. Here you've got a little bit tricky, and this one comes up a lot. You've got 4 sine a cos 3a. You have to change it into the formula. So you make this 4 2 times 2. So split it up. And now 2 sine 3a cos 3a, well, that's just the sine of the double of 3a. Just using the formula, I can write sine 6a. That takes a little bit of looking at and thinking about, but that trick comes up a lot. Now, here's one that comes up. If you have sine x and cos x, I need to make it into 2 sine x cos x to be able to use this thing. Well, how could I make a 2 there but not change it? Well, why don't I go 1/2 times 2? That's the same as 1. Now 2 sine x cos x is sine 2x, so it's a half sine 2x. This one, that's an easy one. 2 times the sine of 30 cos 30, that's just the cos of 2 times 30, the cos of 60, which is root 3 over 2. The next one is just cos squared minus sine squared is the cos of double the angle of 45, the cos of 90, which we know is 0. 1 minus 2 sine squared 30 is the cos of twice 30, the cos of 60, which is a half. 2 times sine times cos, that's the sine of twice 22.5, the sine of 45 degrees, which is 1 over root 2, or your calculator will say root 2 over 2. Now this one, you've got to do a little bit of reducing here. You've got to change that to the sine of 30. This is the negative of the sine of 60, so a negative goes to there. And then cofunction, the sine of 60 is the cos of 30. Now we've got our formula. We had to do some work to get the formula. Then it's just the sine of twice the angle using the formula, the double angle formula. And what's the sine of 60? It's root 3 over 2, except this question, it's negative. Here's a little easy one because it's just the cosine of twice that angle, the cos of 30 degrees, which is root 3 over 2. Now this one, often you factor and you cancel. Look at 4 minus 8, you factor out the 4, and then the 4's cancel. You have 1 minus 2 sine squared. That's just the cos of 2 times 15, the cos of 30, which is root 3 over 2. The last question's a little tricky. It's that question that we had to do before. We know it's 4 there. Why not change it into 2 sine 75 cos 75 like that? And then this just turns into 2 times the sine of 150. But what's the sine of 150? It's really the sine of 30 by reduction. And the sine of 30 is a half, and 2 times a half is 1. So there's all those questions done.